Welcome back, everyone. In the previous video, we discussed about the framework that we're going to develop. And then there's going to be a lot of AI applications. I'm going to be using a Python-based Flask as a website. And we discussed about the cursor, some of the things that you need to be considerate about not using cursor in your work computers because the privacy concerns we discussed about it. Now we can use the cursor. So let's go ahead and start it. But in this case, if you are not familiar with the programming or the cursor, please don't use it because I can build it for you. Or if you have an AI application, please put it in the comments so that I can just help you build it. So in that case, you can just go to cursors. You need to, you can see some of the pricing here. It's a free for some of the like a 2-week trial. But if you want to just the pro version, so that you need to pay $20 a month based on this so that you can download it. And I already downloaded somewhere here. Right here, so that I just open it. Technically, Cursor AI is a code writing agent with an editor. On the left side, you see as an example, you have your all the repository of the codes that the generative AI creates. In here, you can see the editors of each files. And on the right side, you can actually tell to AI to write what you want to write about. So in that case, I'm just going to copy this first prompt that I created. And what we're going to do is we're going to creating a new window or just a new repository. So open folder. And then we're just going to create this AI chat bot. Let's just say that. Here you go. And then we start a fresh folder that we're just going to be making these codes. So the prompt that needs to be extremely detailed because you cannot just tell to AI to create me a website. I don't care. You cannot say that because there's a many ways of programming languages. There are many ways to make the websites or the application. So in this case, what we are saying is we'll be building several AI applications in Flask, Python, and the database will be in SQLite for development. And the MySQL will be on for production. And we will be using a Bootstrap, which is a template agent for the front end. And we will be having a front page that store all the AI applications that we will build. And then we like to use a blueprint, which is all the AI applications can be separated in a different locations, files, so that we can just pull it out from there. And the first application will be Chatbot, which provides a genuine, what is it called? I would say it's not provides a general, provide answers to users' questions. Okay. And then what we do is you just place answers, and then what it does is cursor agents start working. So in that case, you see here that they say it's creating a multiple application, knows about it. So in that case, it started making the configuration files. This is something called the requirements files that it's created. What it does is every app needs to be based on some of the libraries, because that's the beauty about the Python. Python, technically, all the computer languages is just like a calculator. But what you do is you're adding more libraries, which is in this case Flask and so on, so that it creates all the libraries. And then you also start seeing something called the undo or the array keep, which means also generative AI cursor is asking you whether you want to use it. Do you want to go to the next one? Or you can reject or accept it. If you are a very good programmer, you can just reject it, write your own code. But then you need to have a lot of people in the back end, front end, so on. With this one, with the use of generative AI, you just compressing everything to something. You giving the instructions to a code agent, and then code agent is writing it. And then review the next file, which means that every single files that the generative AI cursor is creating, it tells you that, hey, are you okay with this? Are you okay with that? So in that case, you need to say yes, or you can reject it. But then what's going to happen is that the code will crash because some of the requirements file will be missing, and then you have to rework again. So in that case, in the first run, you need to make sure that you accept all of them. And right now, it's continue making the files. So in this case, if you look at the left, everything is under the app folder, which is a very clean look, some of the configurations that is created. And some of the PYs is in execution codes using a Python. And you also start seeing that there's something called chatbot, main, and you see a folder called templates, which means, as we discuss about this front end applications, all the front end is actually getting the information from the back end and then just start creating these files. And the beauty about the Flask, you don't actually keep writing this because this takes a lot of time. I write for many, many years. So you see here in a blink of an eye, you start creating the several great code, and then we'll also try it, and then we give a further feedback. So you see here, it's just creating a something chat file so that they continue building all the templates for the application. So you're just going to go to next, keep, next, and then creating some of the env examples. What does that mean is env is your environment issue files. So it keeps all the confidential information. Which when you start using a GitHub or some of the repository that you're putting somewhere, you don't want to put these secret keys in somewhere that the people can access. So in this case, this env files is not going to be copied to somewhere. So you need to recreate it in the next application. So the other things that you see here, there's a manage, there is a run, so that there's a very good clear look. And you also see something that creating is called the README. So this is some of the things that you need to have the front end person create the pages, back end person for the database, right? How the data will interact with the app. And you need to have an author or the writer to write all the requirements. So this is a big challenge with most of the programmers because they don't have a lot of time to keep writing about what is that they're trying to do. So in that case, create some of these already, and then it asks you that, hey, I created this, and can I just start working on it? So in that case, it asks you to run a code. Let me clarify what is this about. Python -m VNV. What does that mean? It's called the virtual environment. So as we discussed all the libraries that we created before here, libraries, the requirements. So these requirements needs to be installed to somewhere to make sure that the app will be running it. But if you're going to keep running this, installing this requirement to a high level to generic in the computer, what's going to happen is some of the other apps that maybe you can use in your computer start conflicting each other in terms of what is the version, for example. In this case, is a 2.3.3, right? If you have something different, so that it's going to start crashing it. So to prevent this, the computer to crash and the internal, all the general files, what you are creating is a virtual environment just specifically for this app. So this is called the VNV folder. So in that case, when you say run, you're going to see something called the VNV. It's just going to start creating it. So it didn't able to create it because the Python wasn't available. Python was designated for Python 2 in the past. And right now it's just going to Python 3 because this computer has only Python 3. And you see that they created the env folder, which has all the requirements and the virtual environment. So what it does is activates the virtual environment and then start installing these requirement files. So in this case, we're going to say run, and then it's installing it. That's pretty much about it. And it's going to install all of them, and then it's going to say activate and then initiate the database. So in that case, what it does is it's going to create this oldest database for you. So in that case, we're going to say run, And you see here, we actually had start having this libraries that we already created. And then next is that activate and manage the apps. And then it finds some issues so that there's an error already. So one of the beauty about the recent version of the cursor, it actually very fast and it runs, it's fast, and see there's some issues just finding and trying to fix it itself. That's why I would really careful about the putting the cursor in a working computer, which you have a lot of other codes in it. So in that case, it could be quite dangerous because I would just consider it as an experiment. But the code that we're going to be receiving is can be used for 8 to 10 years, no problem. So that it can be used in many applications. So in this case, it just keep checking about all the issues or any kind of areas that they have issues. So that you see, it's just checking all these areas. And let me just show that the word wrap so that you can see all the code. In some of the templates, there's some kind of references, maybe some issues. So in this case, what it does is it's also get rid of or some of the running app in the background so that you can do that. What does that mean is this editor can have some terminals to see that they are running here so that you can actually see it. So in that case, it sounds like it's working. It sounds like working. And so in that case, activate it and Python, it's working. And it's keep checking about whether there's any issues. So this is actually going to be helping a lot for developing a high quality code in a very short time. So that's the beauty about it. And so this called the vibe coding or the generative AI assisted coding. So in the case, I used to have so many people requirements, but now it's just making much simpler code writing. But of course, it's also quite unknown at this moment. But the code that you have is perfectly safe and there's no issues about it because Python has been open source for many years. So in that case, it doesn't really get any information from your background, from your computer. So the code is safe. But in this case, if you are using the code agent, so that like this, so it could be quite dangerous to use in your computer, and I can help to create AI application. So in that case, I think it's already created one, and it's actually working or something. So in this case, let's check what's happening. So in this case, I'm checking it now. So in this case, you see here, detected. It sounds like something working. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go to local, which is a local host, or the intranet that within your in your house or the company network. So you should be able to see these. So in that case, follow link. It's just going to create one. And you see that we created our first AI application. What is the beautiful about this is you're not really creating a code that most people don't want to see because people don't want to see complicated code. And what we did is we compiled all of them and we created a perfect, good-looking front-end application. So in that case, look, this is one here where I choose AI. Looks really good. And then we're just going to say launch. And then we're just going to say it's an AI assistant we created. Hello, we said, I'm here to help. I like to know what time it is, right? So in that case, I'm here to help and so on. So in that case, just give you some of the information. Of course, it can be better. You can connect to ChatGPT or something else. But this is a basic applications that you could use. And you also see a comprehensive looking about pages. You could see a backend. You can create several different applications, just like I created before in the zagao.com, which you're going to see these codes here, so that you can create web page crawlers, several different applications. Sky is the limit, so that you can create Excel spreadsheets, analyzer, and you can just do many things. So in that case, I think it's a success. So we create the first AI application. But in that case, getting this code to put it somewhere requires some manual work to get this zip application, put it somewhere. To prevent that, we can use a GitHub. Whenever we write a code, it can just go to a GitHub, and then from the GitHub, I can distribute to you. So in that case, I'll just going to connect this to GitHub application. So in that case, that's going to be the next video, and talk to you soon.